Folks, thank you for being here and for making From the Hawkeye of the Storm your source for everything Hawkeye, including live streams during the season and breaking news segments like this one. We're talking recruiting today. Hit the thumbs up before you continue with this video. It's right below the video. Hit that little thumbs up. It does help us immensely in the algorithm. Thank you in advance. So the Hawkeyes landing long snapper Bryant Worrell. He is a transfer from the ACC, Boston College, where he played his 2024 season, but he's played 3 different places throughout his career. Here's a young man who was part of the 2020 class and attended Emory and Henry College. I want to make a correction here on the Boston College bio for Bryant Worrell. Not Emory and Hunt. Okay, it's Emory and Henry College, which is a D2 school. He played 2 years there before transferring up to Old Dominion, played 2 years there, then played last year at Boston College, played all 13 games, was solid. Of course, long snapper is one of those positions when you don't notice them. Usually it means they're doing their job. He did total 3 tackles and a fumble recovery last year for the Eagles. And he's got some good measurements. Iowa's had some smaller long snappers go through the program, or at least height-wise. Shout out Tyler Kluver, Marshalltown High grad. He was certainly a great one. Worrell stands at 6'2", 225 pounds. He's got 1 year of eligibility remaining. Of course, he's a graduate. And what's interesting, looking at his bio a couple different places, noticing that he has interned with several strength and conditioning programs. And if you look at his major, he's pursuing a master's degree in sports administration and clearly values strength and conditioning. He's interned at several schools, including Emory and Henry, but also Virginia Tech. So my understanding is when he was playing at Old Dominion, he was able to intern during the 2023 summer at Virginia Tech at the ACC level. Ironically enough, then he ends up transferring up and playing a year at ACC rival Boston College. So sort of an interesting fun fact there. He was a really highly regarded special teamer at a high school. He's a number 11 long snapper by Coles. Of course, Coles Kicking Camp, the #1 source for all things special teams at a high school. He played in the blue-white All-America game. So he was really, really good, but opted to go the D2 route, and it has panned out here. He's entering year number 6 with the free COVID year, and having redshirted the season, he'll now have 1 year left at Iowa. And Iowa, you know, they got Ike Speltz this year. He's the kid who's been practicing throughout spring. And my understanding is there have been some ups and downs this spring. So Worrell actually just entered the portal less than a week ago. And it's my understanding that Iowa had been shopping around at long snapper here over the past couple of weeks. Keep in mind, they've had a really good string of long snappers. There's a reason why LeVar Woods is so highly regarded. And it's not just because of his string of great place kickers. It's not just because of guys like Reese Dakin and Torrey Taylor. They've been great in the return game, and they've been great with their holders. Luke Elkin was a 3-year starter at Iowa. He was first-team AFCA All-America last year. Phil Steele had him as an honorable mention All-America. He was also honorable mention All-Big Ten. Phil Steele had him as a second-team All-Big Ten player last year. He was a permanent team captain for Iowa and just a leader. My understanding is just a leader and just solid. You never really heard his name brought up during games because he was just really good. And so Ike Speltz is an Iowa kid. He's from Van Meter, and it sounds like there have been some ups and downs. So perhaps Bryant Worrell coming here for a year will allow Speltz some time to develop further. Now, my follow-up question to this whole thing, and one of the reasons why I really wanted to cut this video, not just because here's a player who's going to be a factor on the 25 team. I know people don't think long snapping is flashy, and maybe it's not. But one of the reasons why I wanted to cut this video is this makes me wonder what will happen with Ike Speltz. He was retained from last year. He's a redshirt freshman, but with the new roster limits, does Iowa really have space to carry 2 long snappers? I mean, that's my question. Do they have space for 2 long snappers? Maybe they do. This would mean, assuming Worrell starts all of 2025, and I wouldn't expect them to be bringing him in for anything less, that would mean that Ike Speltz would have, 3 years of eligibility remaining after this season, which is significant, but does Iowa have the ability? Is it worth taking a roster spot up with a long snapper who has struggled through his first couple of years, it sounds like, or at least has had some ups and downs? Is that worth retaining that player? And I'm not saying Iowa's going to boot him out, but man, teams have to trim down. We've been talking about roster trimming and this attrition for a while now. They've got to get the roster down below the limit by the time you hit fall. So this should be interesting. I'm curious. I certainly don't want to see anybody, let alone an in-state recruit like Ike Speltz, who I have no reason to believe is not a great kid. I would hate to see him cut, so to speak, but this is college athletics nowadays, so we shall see. But congratulations to Bryant Worrell. He's going to be playing as far away from home as he has during his collegiate career, as the former Boston College Eagle will be a Hawkeye in 2025, and I expect him to be the starter. And boy, Worrell's going to be snapping to some really good kickers, specifically place kicker and punter, and Drew Stevens and Reese Dakin. I've been calling Drew Stevens an NFL kicker. I have no doubt, assuming he stays healthy, which it sounds like he has not been totally healthy this spring, but assuming he stays healthy throughout the season, he will be a high draft choice in 2026. So much to follow here, but LeVar Woods should have another great crew, and Bryant Worrell will contribute to that here in this coming season. Again, folks, hit that like button. We'll be back with more information tomorrow. Another segment here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Keep it locked right here throughout the offseason for Hawkeye coverage, and we'll talk to you soon.